you let in people?
Sir.
Puneet, you have to give us the go-ahead. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we start on dot.
I think we should go ahead, sir.
Wonderful. Okay.
Sir, what I'm telling, I think sir should join. We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Till then, I will tell Abhijit to play some video. Abhijit. Yes.
Well,
also, the numbers are increasing. We are at 113, 16, 19. So I think we need to wait for 5 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, from 77 to 122 in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
No,
Very good response.
Mr. Suresh, this is like New Zealand.
Yeah.
Let's not remind ourselves of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
After
Bad
such
day,
a
forget
great
it.
performance in Australia, and look at this now.
Yeah. We give credit to the great small country. Good.
बरखुरदार घर सजाना कोई मामूली बात नहीं है।
क्या ले घर के लिए क्या ले, क्या ये भी अच्छा है वो भी अच्छा है, पता नहीं ये यहाँ क्यों रखा है, इसको छोड़ छोटा बच्चा है।
भैया कुछ वैरायटी दिखाओ ना।
देखिए आगे पीछे जहाँ तक जाती नजरें, जो भी दिखता है उसे बैग में भर ले, ये भी हमको दिखाओ, शॉपिंग करना ना हमको सिखाओ, हमें पता हमें क्या चाहिए है बाबा, तुम बस आगे बात बढ़ाओ।
घर सजाने के लिए कुछ भी लें, पर घर खरीदने के लिए सिर्फ HDFC होम लोन्स।
गाना कैसा लगा?
बराबर है।
हर किसी का होता है एक मंजिल और सपना, मंजिल पर चमकेगा स्टार अपना। हर किसी का होता है एक मंजिल और सपना, फैमिली नहीं फिट होगी तो कैसे होगा फन।
अरे समवन मॉनसन नीम का पेट फॉर सॉलिड दंत मंजन। अपना घर होता है हर किसी का सपना, और इस सपने को पूरा करे SBI होम लोन्स।
इंडिया के चॉइसेस है रंगीन,
कभी फूड है रंगीन, कभी मूड है रंगीन, स्टाइल है रंगीन, चेहरे पे स्माइल है रंगीन, त्योहार है रंगीन, अपनों का प्यार है रंगीन, शादियां रंगीन, आबादियां रंगीन, भागता शहर है रंगीन, गांव की महक है रंगीन, वो स्किल है रंगीन और दिल भी रंगीन।
और वायर
सिर्फ पॉलीकैप ग्रीन, सिर्फ पॉलीकैप ग्रीन, सिर्फ
पॉलीकैप ग्रीन वायर्स में है ग्रीन शील्ड टेक्नोलॉजी, जो बचाए आपके पैसे, सेहत और पर्यावरण भी। पॉलीकैप ग्रीन वायर्स, सेफ्टी का ग्रीन चॉइस।
ESCO pioneered the concept of branded bath fittings in India and is today one of the most respected names in the market. A pan-India brand, ESCO stands for true quality, affordable pricing, trusted customer service, and a 10-year warranty promise. ESCO's value ethos provides the best option for customers to upgrade to modern quality from the unorganized or non-standard quality segment, and helps fulfill PM Modi's vision of providing affordable housing for all. ESCO offers complete bathroom solutions covering a wide range of design options in bath fittings, sanitary ware, water heaters, and bathroom accessories. Standing tall among the leading brands, ESCO represents true quality and trusted service as its two main salient features.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Namaskar.
I think Surendra Bagade sir has joined. I can see sir.
Hi, Dr. Saab is there at the end.
Namaskar ji.
Namaskar, Surinder ji.
Sir,
Good afternoon, ji.
We all want to see your charming personality, sir.
Oh, on the video, you're close.
Okay, can you see me?
Not yet.
Not yet, sir.
Got it? What happened? Oh, video.
The video.
It took
yes.
me a while to get to this registration mode and then,
Now we
Now
can
you
see
can
you.
see
sir.
me.
Now we can see you. Yes.
Yeah,
Namaskar ji.
Namaskar. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Namaskar, sir.
Thank you.
Extremely,
Good
extremely
afternoon,
sorry,
sir.
sir. Sir, I am Rajan Bandelkar. We are seeing, we
Namaskar,
have
namaskar ji.
spoken so many times. We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
spoken so many times.
No, I had seen you when there was a vice
Yeah.
VC last time.
Yes,
In
sir.
which you presented long list of things. So I was witnessing you. Yeah, please.
सर क्या है कि मांगने में दरिद्रता नहीं रखनी चाहिए.
बिल्कुल सही बात है. Yeah.
Very well put, Rajan bhai.
Yeah,
Yes.
good evening, sir.
Sir.
I'm V. Suresh, chairman of the IGBC and former CMD of Naredco, sir. I had
Arey
the
wow,
pleasure
that's very
meeting
good.
earlier in Mumbai, sir, Maharashtra,
Right.
sir.
Right.
Many times, sir. What a pleasure.
Sir,
My colleague
Sir.
Gurmeet Singh Arora, vice chairman, is also there, sir. Two of us representing the IGBC, sir.
Sir, V. Suresh sir was our second president.
Yeah, I was the
Second-
national president of Naredco for 6 years.
Naredco.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Sir, you must be knowing, you must have heard of Rajiv Talwar, sir.
I am Rajiv Talwar, sir.
Yeah.
I belong
Everybody
to
has
your
heard
tribe.
of you. I think we know very well about you. So
Thank you, sir.
Glad to meet you.
Always happy, belong to the tribe. So
Yeah.
I guess, yes, and life has been exceptionally kind to me. I'm grateful to everyone.
I also
Sir,
see that way. Yeah.
Chandrasekhar Hariharan sir is also
Namaskar.
there.
Namaskar.
Yes, sir. And Ravi Raija also has joined. I think
Yes.
Ravi is in Dubai, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
So,
Hello, sir. How are you? Long
Yes.
I'm
Hi,
good, Ravi.
Ravi.
How are you?
time.
I don't know. His signal is.
Ravi, your signal is weak. I think you should switch off your video. Ravi,
Very well, sir.
you should
My
switch
audio
off
is
your
on.
video. You switch off your video because your signal is weak.
Okay.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ravi is in the
Done,
car.
done, done. Yeah, I'm in the car.
Yes.
But Ravi wants to be seen and not only heard.
नहीं लेकिन अभी sir, but we want to hear him first.
ठीक है.
Sir, Gurmeet Singh Arora is there from IGBC.
Yeah, he is our vice chairman, sir, of IGBC, sir. He's also president of the Indian Plumbing Association. He's got two turbans to wear.
Absolutely.
And sir, you know Kishore. Sir, you know Kishore Batija.
Yes.
He's
I know.
MD.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Kishore ji played a joke on me.
Uh-huh.
He's sent a very good video a few weeks back saying we at K Raheja Corp have prepared this video. It was about Mumbai and what they did for COVID, and I forwarded that. I began receiving queries after that you have said we at K Raheja, have you joined? When did you join them? So I said, no, I am only sending Kishore ji's video up ahead. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, we have Ashok Manani also, who is President Naredco Maharashtra. I think Ashok, yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Namaste. How are you?
Namaste, sir. Namaskar, sir. Very well, sir. Pleasure
And
to have you,
sir,
sir.
we have our DG Rajesh Goyal and entire team of Naredco. Goyal sir.
There he is. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sanjay
Goyal
Dutt
sir,
is
you're-
also there, Rajan.
He's
Yeah,
coming in.
Sanjay Dutt is just joining.
Yeah.
He's there. I can see his name.
Sir, with your kind permission.
Yeah, I think we should start.
We should
Yes,
start.
sir.
But
Yes, sir.
Mr. Talwar, can you say a few words about Mr. Bandelkar? Because, he will not speak about the wonderful work he has done himself.
Yes, I think
Arey,
it is my pleasure to start that. Rajan Bandelkar has been the live wire of Naredco. While it is a very great organization begun under the aegis of the Ministry of Urban Development that time, now Housing and Urban Affairs. But really it was actually when the Bombay team, whether it was Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani, the Rahejas Ravi and Neil, and of course Mohanani ji, Kishore Batija, and everyone in the West, all in the North, but we needed one spark of fire. And that has been provided by Mr. Rajan Bandelkar, who's coalesced everyone into a team. It's now an all-India team.
Absolutely.
They represent each and every corner of India. But more than that, they have pulled along so well that you almost feel that Mr. Rajan Bandelkar has shifted to Delhi. Now, I'm sure that may not
Lovely.
be saying the best thing for him in terms of the company, but he has really, really, kind of well-oiled machinery, so much that we normally think that does he have a room in the ministry itself? Because there's so much interaction with the ministry, there's so much bonhomie with the ministry, and of course I must credit the minister. Ever since 2017, when Mr. Hardeep Puri came in, his first meeting was in Bombay, by the way, and he just said, let me know your demands, my work is to follow up. And Mr. Durga Shankar Misra, whom we think is one of the greats of the service, he's from IIT and speaks impeccable Hindi and English. I mean, he's been one person who says कि पहले मुझे convince कर दो, फिर मेरी duty है कि मैं government के हर department को convince करूं आपके लिए. So that is why it's been a great teamwork. And from our end, despite the fact that I belong to Delhi, I think it's really Mr. Rajan Bandilkar who has led our venture into the government and with the government. And it's been all for the people. In fact, I want to tell everybody that we are through a pandemic. We are hearing all kinds of things, and we heard before also, people said rogue builders, people said what kind of industry. Then you also hear of money going out of the country. People are investing abroad, people are shifting abroad. This is one industry, whether it is housing, real estate, construction. This is something which I must place before not only Dr. Durga Shankar Misra or Mr. Durga Shankar Misra, but definitely Dr. Surendra Madge, that this is one industry, sir. You must tell the government, you must tell the Prime Minister that with the number of launches coming up this year, with the amount of demand revival, this is one industry on which 265 or 240 industries are dependent. And we are all investing into India only. We do not go and invest abroad. We still use the labor of India. We still do machinery. We complete buildings. And just to give you the name of two firms, Brookfield and Blackstone, sir, $40 billion invested into commercially leased completed buildings is an amazing amount. REITs have come in. REITs were introduced first time by Mr. The word REITs without any other sentence was introduced by Mr. Arun Jaitley in his first budget. And look at it today. You have successful REITs. InvITs have become successful. We now need to get something like China, where buildings keep on cropping up. You will see soon happening in India. Labor needs to be upskilled, because till today we had piece rated workers. So I think we are on to a very good innings, and the due, because of the minister, because of the secretary and amazing bureaucrats. I mean, look at him, he's an IAS officer, but he's a doctorate already. I mean, we have good fortune of having such people and stars. We must make it available to the Niti Aayog. We must make it available to the Prime Minister's office. You are talking about Startup India, making India as the hub of investments. Imagine they said that FPIs of a $3 trillion market cap, one fifth, I think, 20%, $600 billion are from FPIs. And we do have a lot of number of people coming in with foreign exchange. We have a large number of people launching projects all over India. We have a large number of, I'm so glad to hear that Gurmeet ji is the president of the Indian Plumbing Association. Imagine that, because we always used to believe that there are districts of Odisha from which a large number of plumbers come in. We need to upskill them people. Whether it is electrical, whether it is plumbing, all these modern, and plus into green. We'll cover the green buildings also, sir. We have all gained by going green, and therefore this seminar is most appropriate, with due, homage to a person like Rajan Bandelkar and and appreciation of Mr. Rajan Bandelkar and the Maharashtra team. I mean, what builders and what people, whether it's Mr. Monani, whether it's Kishore, whether it's everyone out there, look at the kind of change they've brought in into stamp duty. They're undoubtedly the think leaders in India when it comes to business. And therefore, let me hand it back to you, Dr. Chandrasekharan. We'll come in due course of time on green buildings. It's one of the most useful seminars and webinars to have today. Thank you so much for allowing me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Talwar, for setting a very resounding tone for what I expect to be a lovely discussion session. We had today here the people who define the destiny and directions for the construction sector, for the realty sector. And what you said earlier, before we started formally this discussion, is something that I request you to speak upon before, we get to the next stage of this discussion itself. When you talked about, for example, how we are by far the largest investment arm, if I can paraphrase you, in India today, what did you actually mean by that? And can you say it in a way that it puts it in better perspective and context for Mr. Bagde, who is here? Because, this can't happen. This talmail can't happen without industry and government working together.
Correct. So it's a simple thing. The Prime Minister's launched marvelous schemes in this country. This country is changing. I still want to quote 15th of August 2019. Forever we had been hearing in India, Garibi hatao, Garibi hatao, Garibi hatao. The Prime Minister in 1 second changed it, just like he had spoken about Swachhata and toilets, the water mission. He immediately said on 15th of August 2019, let's look at making a $5 trillion. Today, no one talks of Garibi hatao. It is taken for granted that yes, we'll go towards a 5, 10, 15, $20 trillion economy. And who will be contributing to it? Is the affordable housing scheme. 1 crore 12 lakh houses, and that's only 1/5. We'll probably need 6 crore homes eventually, so that there is ease of mobility and ease of ownership and rental housing. We are going to make buildings. Imagine the number of launches. I can just tell you that, I mean, just take the residential sector. Every real estate firm is quoting higher sales, is quoting new launches. What does it mean? It means investment and very large investment. And it's a time-keeping investment because the amount of labor it uses, the number of industries it uses. Right. You know that we are all now complaining that there is so much of a demand in construction and housing that steel prices and cement prices are going up.
Fair enough.
So we need to tell the government that we are not only one with them, but we are the flag bearers of a growing Indian economy.
Absolutely.
If that Indian economy has to become a 5, 10, 15, $20 trillion Indian economy, it is infrastructure, it is going green, it is using the latest technology, it is upskilling labor. We will no longer have poor laborers, please beware. We will have rich and contented laborers, technically qualified laborers.
Absolutely. Mr. Talwar, I think our Rajanji wants to respond to something that you are saying. Go on, Rajanji, please.
Sir, thank you very much. Thank you, Talwar sir. And I would like to mention to Bagde sir here, everyone praise me, but I will tell you, I am just a worker.
That's okay.
Like the Vike we tell, I am just a karyakarta. There are everybody is including Rajiv Talwar, Niranjan Hiranandani, and moreover, Durga Shankar Mishra, sir, whom we call Mata and Pita, because Durga and Shankar. So in her sir's name is only Durga and Shankar is there. And Hardeep Singh Puri, that is, har jagah Deep bolte hai, aise Hardeep Singh Puri sir, because every time they have supported us, that's why we could do something.
Correct.
So all credit to each and everyone. So Chandrasekhar sir also and Raju Talwar took it little longer. So I would like to introduce Kishore Bhatija sir, who will give a welcome this thing note and start this webinar talk about Kishore Bhatija, everybody knows. And the way we tell, he is a chartered accountant. So it's an advantage. And I would like to mention here also the work which Kishore Bhatija as well as one Kirti Shah, there are 2-3 people, and Primus Aarti Harbhajanka and all team whoever have done. So that's why Naredco has come up to this level. Kishore Bhatija is known as king of malls, people tell, because I think one time he has handled one of the largest malls in India. I think probably he was known as mall man also, like people tell. So his code name was like that. So without taking much time, I would hand it over to Kishore Bhatija sir. Over to you, Kishore Bhatija sir.
Please.
Thank you, Rajan. Before I start, Talwar Saab just wanted to add to the spark of Maharashtra. We have got now Bagde Saab also, who is with us now.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for taking our time out to join us today for a discussion on this very pertinent subject of India's leadership role in advancing green buildings. I would like to begin by wishing good health to each of you and your families. The green building progression in India has steadily gained pace over the years, and we have been fortunate to witness its growth and evolution. We at Naredco stand committed to playing a catalytic role to influence the advancement of green buildings amongst our members. Leading the change in India, the real estate industry has unified to demonstrate that green building construction is both economically feasible and sustainable. It's important to mention here that today, cost of construction for a green building is almost equal to that of conventional building, which creates a strong business case too. Even with a late and modest beginning of 20,000 square feet green built up area in the country in 2003, today India ranks third globally when it comes to green building, behind mainland China and Canada. And the number is steadily increasing. In reaching this milestone of 10 billion square feet by 2022, it will probably replace China and Canada to take top position. And we look forward to that milestone. India's leadership also took a bold step in energy conservation with the Energy Conservation Building Code, launched by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency in 2007, which was updated in 2017 with enhanced energy performance standards. This initiative is also playing a crucial role in shaping the future of green building infrastructure in India. The government has also been leading notable changes for both economic development and sustainable goals, ensuring incentive and rebates for buyers and developers to construct green buildings. What I believe is also important today is to ensure that robust measurement systems are in place. I read this quote recently which stuck with me. What gets measured gets done. What gets done well gets recognized and gets done again better. If we track and measure building performance and its environmental impact, we can bring in necessary interventions required in making our nation truly green and sustainable. Alongside, if we recognize good work and create benchmark for others to follow, we can be facilitators of reversing the existing threat of global warming. In my capacity as Vice President Naredco Maharashtra, I look forward to harnessing the collective strength and enthusiasm of our group to achieve this goal. I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Surinder Kumar Bagde, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, for taking time out. We look forward to achieving greater success under his guidance and support.
Wonderful.
I now welcome my colleague, Mr. Gurmeet Singh Arora, and look forward to a power-packed panel discussion with stalwarts from the real estate industry. Have an engaged afternoon ahead. Thank you and stay well.
Thank you, Kishorji. I will start with a quote from a man called Herbert Reeves, who is a Canadian-French astrophysicist. He says, "Man is the most insane species. He worships an invisible God and destroys a visible nature, unaware that this nature he is destroying is actually the God he is worshipping. Ladies and gentlemen, I belong to the Indian Green Building Council. We are a made in India council, made for India, made for Mother India, made for Bharat. We are a center of excellence of the Confederation of Indian Industries. And I would like to stress, we are a not-for-profit making organization. I am here today with my chairman, Mr. V. Suresh, and our vice chair from our Bengaluru chapter, also our national executive board member, Dr. Chandrasekharan, only to ensure that whatever we build must be sustainable. The building industry, construction industry contributes to 23% of the carbon emissions. Cement and steel contribute to 13%. The Indian Green Building Council in India, there are 3 more green building councils. We have 93% market share in India. We are number 2 worldwide, and we would like to hold your hand and walk you through green certification without asking you to spend more, which I am going to stress on after some time. Cost is not an issue here because green buildings will not cost you more than 1 to 1.5%. We have 28 rating systems. We launched the high-speed rail rating system also recently, 3 to 4 days back. Mr. P. Suresh was part of that launch. For the 12 metro stations for the bullet train from Mumbai to Hyderabad. To Ahmedabad. Yeah, Suresh sir.
I said Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. I'm sorry. We have 6,600 plus projects already under IGBC's fold. We are at 785 billion square feet, 7.85 billion square feet, 785 crore square feet, with an aspiration to touch 1,000 crore square feet when India turns young at 75 in 2022. IGBC has 5,300 accredited professionals who can guide you through the green building process. It's very simple. The first building that we built was in 2003. In 2004, 20,000 square feet building, which costed 18% more. Today, a green building does not cost more than 1 or 2%. Is cost a real issue for a DLF or a K. Raheja Corp or Tata Housing or a Tata Realty or even a Ronak Group? Is money the only motive, or money is a byproduct of the business we do? And if it is a byproduct, then what is important is providing health, providing well-being and comfort for millions. I will tell you how. An IGBC Green Hospital has a faster recovery rate by 20%. A green certified software center has an additional productivity rate of 35%. We are talking of healthy living spaces, reduction in infection rates, prevention in diseases, and providing homes which breathe, which get you light but not the heat, which have ambient temperatures of 3 to 4 degrees less than the outside ambient temperature. Our ratings cover every topography of a project. So whether it's a green home, a hospital, a healthcare center, a village, we have a green village rating also. We are certifying a lot of villages. Green schools, existing cities, towns, greenfield, brownfield, existing commercial buildings, green residential societies, existing new residential societies. We cover even petrol pumps and police stations. We cover the entire topography of construction, and that's why we have 93% market share. In October, the Vice President of India launched the Net Zero Water and Net Zero Energy. We have projects which do not require water or energy from the grid. Can you imagine? Our own green building center at that time costed 18% more. Now it has solar panels which have photovoltaic on both the sides. So even in the sun shadow region, we are producing energy because the sun's rays reflect on the reflective paint on the ceiling and touches the bottom of the solar panel. And therefore, this building today is not net zero, it is net positive. It provides energy back to the grid. It cannot consume that much energy that it produces. So whether greenfield or brownfield, IGBC is there for every project topography that you can think of. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you one question. Heat island effect, climate change, increase in temperatures, forest fires, which we never learned in our schools earlier, forest fires, typhoons, tornadoes, tsunamis we never heard of earlier, cyclones, hurricanes, melting of Arctic and Antarctic ice, seawater temperature increase, ingress of seawater into our coastal cities. Who is responsible for all this? Is it the Almighty? Is it nature's fury? Or is it you and me? We are responsible, and these are not natural disasters, these are man-made disasters. And the number of disasters that are increasing every day is unprecedented. Cyclone here, tornado here, tsunami, and now we name them also. Katrina, and countries are even naming them. We have to rethink how we build, how we construct. And again, I repeat, I am not asking you to spend more. I'm asking you to spend 1 to 1.5% with an ROI of 1 to 1.5 years. And what you get with that, you get an IGBC shield, you get a USP, you get extra FSI from the government, FAR, from 5 to 15%. You get faster MOEF clearance, you get loans which are cheaper, which you can provide to your buyers. So certainly there are advantages of going green, and we would like to work with you to make sure that we achieve happiness in the homes that we provide. Our pursuit to happiness must be there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all citizens of Earth before we are citizens of India. And we must protect the depleting resources of Jal, Vayu, Agni, Akash and Dharti. All our 28 ratings are married with Jal, Vayu, Agni, Akash and Dharti. They are all merged into our ratings. Please rethink how we construct. You have to plan your house, your home, your commercial complex to be green. Look at K. Raheja Corp. So many builders. Your president, Mr. Hirnandani, 580 acres, Fortune City, Panvel, IGBC Gold. Mr. V. Suresh was with him as a director. 380 acres, Oragutam, IGBC Gold. Why? Because he sees the benefit in that. He sees a USP in that. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us and our future and our children's future and their children to come. I quote Greta Thunberg, "How dare you destroy my future? How dare you?" I unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, can we together embrace the future? Let me hold your hand and walk you through to become green. Let me, IGBC, make you sustainable. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. See, I will tell you that after Corona, everybody has seen that there was a WhatsApp viral on truck, one log of wood was cut and taken, and on the other side, the oxygen cylinders were going on. So everybody knows the value of green cover and green building and Mother Earth and nature.
Sure.
So, and inspired by that only, we have kept this session. So now I will hand it over to Dr. Chandrasekharan for a very good, vibrant session with all the people. Sir, I would like you to introduce everyone and be brief and crisp, because we have hardly 40 minutes because we are already running late and sir wants to leave by 4:10, 4:15.
Right.
Thank you. Over to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
I will turn, let me turn to Mr. Ravi Raheja, who is, made time sitting out there across the sea. You have heard both Mr. Bhatija and this passionate plea from Gurmeet. What is your take on this? You are one of those major shapers of, and a belvedere for builders in India.
First of all, thank you for having me on the panel, and I, want to welcome the chief guest onto this. I just want to say one thing, that maybe 10 years, or I don't know how many, 14 years ago, we went exclusively green. Each and every building the K. Raheja Corp built was not as an exception green, as a rule it was green. And I think that's very important to highlight. And I remember one large investor telling me that if I am silly enough to make a non-green building, then what other silly mistakes I can make is very scary. So it was a very one-line summary. And since then, I'm like, look, if the largest investors in the world make it a standard operating procedure that everything is green, why am I even debating it? And all this discussion on cost being more, Gurmeet and the whole IGBC team has been very, very important and integral to helping us, guiding us through this journey. And we just said it. We just stopped the discussion on what it costs. We says, all of us have the advertising cost. All of us know that 1%, 2% and 5% cost variations in our business happen very easily. So I just think that we have to go green, and there is no other way. And I'll just summarize by saying one point is, we live in a country where water is scarce, sewage systems are breaking down, electricity is scarce. So I don't know why this is even a discussion. I think it has to be mandated effectively that everyone saves water, saves electricity, works on saving sewage, works on efficient transportation systems, works on fire safety. And to me, it's about living well and living better. And it's, COVID has just highlighted this even more than ever again. And, I just think this is something we all have to do. And thank you for joining us in this discussion. And I hand it back to you, Doctor.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this. Can you respond on that? Fundamentally, he's saying, let's not look for mandates. Let's not just do this business of compliance. Let's go beyond that. And at the fount of a company's, shall we say, apex minds, we have to see that we are devolving such powerful values down into our own systems. We shouldn't wait for mandated compliance. What would your take be, Mr. Monani? You have to unmute, I think. Ashok Monani? Okay. If he's good. Are you there? No.
Sorry.
Going?
Sorry. Yes, Ashok ji. Can you respond to what I asked you or what Mr. Raheja said, which was sort of a cumulative conclusion of what the rest of them spoke about? Would you want to speak on that, Ashok ji, or would you want to take your turn later? No, I think we're losing him there somewhere. I will then possibly turn to Mr. Sanjay Dutt. You are reading today probably 3 or 4 billion square feet of buildings. And your company for 100 years has held values of a kind that has been unimpeachable. What is your take on this?
Internally within Tata Group, this is a very important subject because Tata as a group is very diversified and they have a lot of sectors which may actually impact the carbon footprint globally because this is a global conglomerate. And therefore, this subject is being dealt even more carefully.
Right.
In Tata Realty and Tata Housing, all our buildings are green. In fact, our endeavor is to whether we can make each platinum or the highest. Can we go beyond? Can we make an impact in the neighborhood where our buildings are? Can we do something for the society in that neighborhood? Is there we've just taken a CSR activity in near our Ramanujam ITSCZ in Chennai, where there is a serious water conservation issue. We have allocated substantial amount of capital just to help the group preserve water and invest in the research that is needed to ensure that we address long-term issues. So the ethos of the group and the company are very clear. What we've also done is we've taken learnings from other colleagues in the industry, other pioneers of the sector, investor partners who are coming into the country. And we are designing our buildings in a manner that it puts the stress on the asset in the least possible way. So a lot has to do with the designing. You would recall there was a time when every government building used to be designed in such a way that it used to provide a natural shade. It used to provide natural light, air. There was no need for air conditioning. And yet there were fins which will protect the direct sunlight. We went to glass facades without heat reflective, films on it. And then we realized much later that the energy cost has gone up. And now we are addressing it. And now we're saying it costs a little bit of more, but let's do it. But I think in the design itself, in the architecture that we need for this country, if that awareness is spread, it'll make a world of difference. I think we've moved away from energy to livability. We've moved away from a mobility only concern to affordability and sustainability over a period of longer term. So with the passing of the time, we are pushing the envelope and naturally coming out with challenges. I'll give you a very quick short answer on another topic.
Yeah.
You design the asset and then you service and maintain the asset for next 40 to 50 years. We are looking at the subject even more deeper. We are saying, how can we ensure that the post-construction of the asset is managed in such a way that it reduces the stress on the natural resources, and we monetize the natural resources to in the most effective manner.
Absolutely. When you say you're designing the asset, before I turn to to the next speaker, my question to you is, when you say design the asset, that every city where you're sort of launching projects is terribly water stressed. Are you also recognizing at the design stage what you need to be doing on carrying capacity for water?
Yes. I can tell you this. There was a time when we, back in 90s, when we were designing building, we were designing to global standards because most of the tenants were global corporations. Very soon we realized that the specs were over-spec. And we needed to kind of really see the consumption, the data points, the statistics, and then incorporate those. So we are definitely far more aware and conscious of the consumption, usage pattern, and the buildings that we're designing today are drastically different. And we do include water utilization and recycling of the water, etc., beside host of other things. For example, we did individual cooling towers, right? Because we came out with building by building, but now we're moving to district cooling. That alone, you can make 15% saving on the energy cost, just switching to district cooling. Now, if you do a cluster cooling in a sector, imagine the savings and the environment impact that you can make. So I think the community is aware. I think the developer fraternity is absolutely conscious. I think everybody is doing green buildings. It's how we can take this to the next level and make India as a leader in this and educate how we can use the resources in the most effective manner.
When you say everybody is doing green buildings, you also realize at once that no more than about 5 to 6% of all the building stock in the country today is certified green. What do we do with the existing stock of buildings?
I have a strong belief that if you look at the key markets of India, most of the buildings, even if they're not certified, they are designed to certain standards and specifications. So if you were to do a test, barring few, you will see that they will measure on a scale of 10, maybe 5 or 6, if not 10. So yes, you can invest. I think there is a cycle of asset redevelopment which comes in. So every now and then pick up, you pick up an old building. I'm assuming at one time Barakhamba Road and Nariman Point and MG Road of Bangalore will see redevelopment of the existing commercial buildings.
Right. Okay.
And you will see those things taking place. So I think India has embarked on the journey. If I was to just give you commercial buildings, I think over 600 million square feet that we see in office space, nearly 300 million square feet is institutionally owned. This is owned by reputed developers like Rahejers and DLFs of the world. And if the institutional ownership is there, I think you can assume that 50% of these buildings are green. I would dare to say even 70% of these commercial buildings are green in commercial space.
Sure.
And we will add 300 million square feet in next 5 years conservatively, which I know will be platinum, green, IGBC, highest standards.
Sure. Mr. Talwar, I'll have to turn to you now once again. He took DLF as one example of such institutional ownership. And, you know, if there is one single thing that you believe, you know, buildings have benefited from, what would that be in turning green or turning energy efficient, Mr. Talwar? We lost him. I think his network is...
We lost him.
I think we lost him there. Okay. No, this is strange today. We are, you know, there has been a... can I turn to you back again, Mr. Raj? Would you want to respond to what Mr. Dutt said?
Can you just repeat the question because it was slightly
if you look at the next 10 years, he's saying that everybody is going to go green. There is simply no doubt. There is absolutely no doubt, like you said.
I will tell you what my take on going green is. I actually think the reality of water, electricity, and sewage situation in every urban is going to make everyone go green.
Yes.
I think certification is a bonus, but I think it's a journey. I think, you know, we take old housing societies will want to be more water efficient. You know, I think recycling water in urban areas is going to become a trend. We have to recycle our water. We don't do that in India right now. London, New York, Paris, all of them recycle water.
Absolutely.
Sewage treatment, segregated sewage is also going to become a treatment. So I think the journey of all this, all our consumables, we want to go chemical free, we want to go fire retardant, we want to do recycle wood. I think the whole journey of the way a society or an old society consumes its consumables is going to change. And finally, some of them will take the necessary steps to get certification. But I don't think we should, I am sure IGBC and other people will come up with certification standards for residential, because ultimately residential is 80-90% of the housing stock, which will happen.
Sure.
Now, when it comes to commercial hotels, malls, the change will be much faster. Because if you have consolidated ownership, they will drive change. I mean, you know, Blackstone has done that in Express Towers in Nariman Point. They very quickly had it done. I'm sure DLF will move all its buildings green at a lightning speed. Even if they're old, it doesn't matter. The age of the building will not matter so much. Right. If A doesn't certify it, someone B will certify it. But buildings will go green. They will buy green power and all of that. So I see that as a guaranteed trend.
Sure. Are you then saying that over these next 10 years, this business of localized solutions for water and then for energy, of course for waste, is going to be the norm in a way that we take the pressure off the government infrastructure, which can't quite cope with these things, thanks not to them, but thanks to the terrible paucity of natural resources?
I think localized, I think optimum utilization is going to be the norm, but I don't see a situation where the government is not part of the solution. I think the government is a very, very integral part of the solution. I think we as consumers of water, we as consumers of electricity have to be responsible on how we use it.
Okay.
And if we are given a choice that, hey, I don't mind recycled water, I prefer green power, I think we can influence government behavior and our own behavior to make a very significant difference. I think the government has to take serious steps to say, hey, let's not encourage wasteful use of resources. Because if you give water at a huge subsidy, and you give a huge premium to commercial and hotels, and commercial and hotels will become very efficient users of water, while residential users, which are 85% of the users, will not learn to value water so much. So I do believe the government and users have to have a very close and interactive manner, and the change is certain. I don't think nothing any of us do is going to be able to stop change.
Sure, I'm hoping Mr. Bagde will respond to that when he speaks. Back to you, Mr. Talwar. We lost you for a moment there. If you can unmute, please. I could see if I could. Yes, there you are. You need to unmute, Mr. Talwar. You have to unmute. Mr. Talwar has not unmuted. I think.
Yes, sir. I'm now.
Okay, you are finally.
Yes.
You heard, Mr. Rahej speak about this. I mean, today my breath is really taken away because there is no selling that we need to do to these wonderful minds. Absolutely. So what is that one step we need to take? Number one, to borrow Mr. Raja's phrase, if there is institutional ownership, all your existing buildings will also go in for retrofits in a way that you localize solutions, you'll ease the burden on city infrastructure. That is one point he's making. The other he's saying is that, well, the government has a role, definitively speaking. You've been in the government for more than one half of that long career of yours, What would your take be, therefore?
Sir, too, when it comes to the government, it's even awareness. Not only making it easier for people to adopt green measures, but then the government always steps in. I can assure you that's something very clear about the government. But what Ravi is very rightly said, it's actually individual company ownership. I can only give you some examples. That's what we were hoping to tackle. Number one was walk to work. Whether it's Powai and Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani, whether it is Gurgaon and Cyber City or the Horizon Center, you can always walk to work. Number two, the green lungs that we provide. Number three, all our buildings are LEED platinum basis. So therefore, they are most green. In fact, water recycling, I can tell everyone over here, the first time that we called on the new Minister for Water, which is Mr. Gajendra Shekhawat, when we talked of recycling, we actually use water 4 times. And he was aware of it. He says, that's the only place I've seen it.
If that is so, Mr. Talwar, my question to you will be, as an extension of that, what do you see as those key drivers into the next, say, 15 critical years for India as industry? I won't say the realty sector alone, across, adopts such sustainability directions.
Not only rainwater harvesting, but more than that now, water recycling. That's very important. Number two, you have to contribute to smarter cities where people need to go out lesser. Therefore, an OFC cable network within condominiums, whether also into commercial buildings, so that you are going more and more digital, even payment-wise, and there's less need to go out. Number three, mass transport based on electricity. When we did the rapid metro and extended it, believe me, it's good for everyone, because it not only gives you an option by going by electric. I mean, rapid metro is a part of the mass rapid transport system, but more than that, it makes it profitable for you, because that's what transit oriented development is all about. Therefore, it is even profitable to go in. Green lungs.
I stop you there. How do you see India going, with the end of the coal era, no more than about 15,000 days from here? How do you see India going on transportation, whether it's personal transportation or public?
Sir, we've got to make the next change. We made a change about 15 years back when we went to CNG. The next one is going to be electricity based. And you've got to do that even for local. We have under the Cyber City, we have more than 100 megawatts of gas-based power being produced.
Sure.
So therefore, it is very, very essential for uninterrupted power supply also, that we go in for systems which give you green-based power. And that's what is going to be, whether it is going to be solar, whether it's going to be wind or gas-based at the moment. Absolutely. We need to be going in for those measures. We do have OFC water recycling, then also the metro. And I think the biggest thing is provide for greenery. In very many urban agglomerations, it may not be strictly possible, but the more vertical we go, is the greater the chance that we can go green and provide for greenery, whether it's a golf course, whether it's sports stadia, whatever it be, we need to go green. And of course, plantations. There's now city forests are a part of life, and those need to come in. That's where the government can step in. Just like we're talking of affordable housing on government land, whether it's public sector land or whether it's government land, whether it's cantonment land. Similarly, your forests will come in, city forests will come in on such lands also. So we can have a comprehensive look by the developer, as well as along with government prodding us and government also assisting us.
I get that. Now I turn to, well, if you are the chairman of Naredco, I will turn to the chairman of IGBC now, Mr. Suresh. I have a very simple question to you. For nearly the last decade, almost the entire decade, you have presided over policy concerns at IGBC, and you also been a very, very passionate and active member at the NBC also. I think your association with the NBC goes back some 25 years. And so you know that landscape of policy that the government has to drive in order to secure things from industry. How much has policy, you think, helped to facilitate the building of such resilience and sustainability? And what do you expect from, therefore, such policy frameworks into the next 15 years?
I think that's a very important point of view that you said over there. Fortunately, after the Sustainable Development Goal to the year 2030 was launched on September 15 of 2015, when the Honorable Prime Minister himself was present along with 193 countries. India is the first country which has brought in the approach to sustainability in the National Building Code, the document in the new part number 11. I hope you are aware of the new part 11. So that's where the first big strike of the sustainable development pathway, integrated water management, energy management, waste management, green development, carbon footprint reduction, life cycle cost, all have brought in over there in the regulatory framework in the National Building Code. So that's already happened. And therefore, what is good is that along with the principles of the 17 development goals or sustainable development goal, all the ratings of the IGBC are also exactly in line with that to take care of all the sustainable development principles. And fortunately, based on this initiative from the government of India side, and also reflected through the Ministry of Housing document, as well as from the Ministry of Renewable Energy and Power Ministries, to take care of the sustainable path with the Energy Conservation Building Code, another related one, it's happening at the central level. And governments are also doing well, like our Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. All the buildings, all the CPWD, they are now making it green, including now the Parliament House and including Central Vista Development and many other bhavans on which we have been associated. Like state governments are also trying to do that in a very big way. Many state governments are doing that through green regulations being brought as part of the building regulations at one level. That gives, many have already done it, and to give incentives for going green of additional FSI or FAR, or reduce the property tax, or bring in other incentives which will be good for the green building movement is an important component. So the policy level at the central, state and local level. For example, Pune Municipal Corporation did it at the local level. So both state government level, local government level and central government level, there is a solid policy level support to go green in a very large way. And some states are given differential incentives, as Gurmeet rightly said. Some give 5%, some give 10%, some give 15% additional incentives for going green. Why? Because you're saving 35 to 45% water. And energy saving of a very large nature, as already indicated Talwarji as well as Rehejaji and so many of our distinguished builders, they have seen real value that when you are going to invest into green buildings over there, you are able to save water, save energy, waste management efficiency, and the green cover being increased, overall physical quality of life being enhanced over there. We have not made it mandatory. That was your first question earlier. Would you like that? I still don't think that now it's voluntary, because the true value is known and good business sense is already prevailing for going green. The people are adopting that. So maybe today, if you are about 5 to 6% of the overall green of the building footprint going, I reasonably expect that by 2030, 9 years from now, we should get to a 35% level. With a series of initiatives coming for all the smart cities to go green, Amrut cities to go green in large way. That's where we are moved from building to the built environment, campus, neighborhood, city development.
I'll stop you and ask you one more question. You heard Mr. Sanjay Dutt say that, look, we have come up to this platinum, we need to go beyond platinum, he said. And we now have the net zero rating. What are therefore your aspirations at IGBC to reach net zero in the realty sector? And if you are a builder, you know, you heard Gurmeet also say it, a couple of others saying that, well, if there is a small cost as a differential delta cost, we should still take it. But then, to your mind, if you are a builder, would you accept net zero if it entails that higher capital cost? These are two questions on net zero.
Yeah, in fact, I would say that the first level of happening is going into green with all the asset class of buildings, and only buildings, and I think already clarified all the built environment going at the level of the campus to neighborhood to cities, township. Rajkot city, smart city has already become green city, and 16 of the smart cities are already going green. So what I'm trying to say is that in addition to all those ratings of buildings and the built environment, and as you rightly recognize, the high-speed rail between Ahmedabad to Mumbai, the new rating has come. All the 600 metro stations have already gone green. Many new railway stations are going. Mobility, all airports, be it the T3 or be it the T2 happening in Mumbai or Delhi or Hyderabad, another one, all of them are going platinum on that. Why? Because energy saving is a very important cost of the operating cost of these particular buildings. Not only the capital cost coming over there, and the phenomenal amount of things, all the data centers, IT parks, etc., they're able to true value. And therefore, as you rightly asked, beyond that is a plus coming up net zero energy, net zero water, and today we are the meeting of the net zero waste coming over there. And maybe in 1 month from now, you'll have the net zero carbon. So India would have all the 4 net zero component on energy, water, waste, and carbon together. And if you put together, all of them are all contributing decarbonizing the agenda. See, the whole idea is 2030 for sustainable development goal to be achieved. India emission levels are around 21%. We are supposed to 35% level by 2030. I'm talking looking forward. If we have to achieve that level of things over there, and by 2050 get towards the net zero decarbonizing agenda, we don't have to worry, because if 53 billion is a total global one, India is contributing to 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions. So we can easily achieve that. But if we are able to go green, and we are number one by next year of 10 billion square feet of green footprint, I'm sure contribution to the decarbonizing agenda will be more. So concentrating on all the 4 efforts, and I'm with you, Chandraji, that on the water is going to be very major. Integrated water management of reducing consumption, and also rainwater harvesting, aquifer recharging, wastewater recycling, as rightly told by Reheja. If you don't recycle, India has not done that. India has not done all your sewage and sullage to be recycled back. Singapore, 100% of the water is completely recycled through your new water, NEWATER, and all of them are utilized back. Recycled water is used back. Every use of the particular thing, be it flushing or other uses or landscaping, commercial use, air conditioning, water. We haven't a single level at city level, I'm talking city level, done all those sewage treatment plants. Therefore, it's rightly thought it on that. We got to do that. So I'm sure we do those things.
Sureshji, you're so full of passion and energy every time you speak. I know there are
but
lots
I
of numbers.
That's the way forward in the next 4 or 5 years.
I'm sure.
At least my idea is at least the 500 Amrut cities and the 100 smart cities, we should ensure 100% recycling plan for doing that. We can take I'm sure the distinguished presence of the Honorable Additional Secretary Sir is already being there. I'm sure it will go in a long way to ensure that the agenda will also move forward. As far as somebody told housing, I'll take half a minute more. Our rating system on housing, sir, I thought maybe many are not aware that one rating was for the IGBC IGBC homes, which was launched in 2008, and later on in 2015, when the affordable housing came, we got a new rating for IGBC affordable home. And as rightly identified by Reheja Saab, the societies, residential societies of existing apartments or cooperative societies, the builders become important, and we have the 3rd rating available. As a result, we have the IGBC homes, IGBC affordable homes, and as well the residential societies. You'll be very happy to know that today IGBC rated residential one is 2.25 billion square feet, 225 crore square feet of residential space, and we have been able to do 17 lakhs of houses have been done under the IGBC home rating. Many people may not know it's already got into the residential sector on not only middle income and high income, but also weaker section and low income and residential societies as well.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Sri. I think
I leave it at that.
I understand where you're coming from.
A lot of
so much
questions
more.
There's
so much more to discuss, but then it's already 4:04. And Rajanji, I think I need to hand this over to you, because we need to hear Mr. Bharti speak, the Additional Secretary speak.
Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar sir. And I know the entire panel, I think you people can deliberate for hours together. But sir, one thing what I heard, and I would like to quote here what Nitin Gadkari sir tells, it is from waste to wealth. I can tell because he tells in all his speeches he has sold treated water for a power generation plant for 100 plus crores. So without taking much time, because additional secretary sir has already sent me a message that sir wants to leave.
Yes.
So doctor, we are very fortunate that Dr. Bagre sir, who is from Maharashtra, the way Kishore Bhatija told, there is another feather in our cap for Maharashtra, that one more person in the MOA ministry is from Maharashtra. Sir has done electrical engineering from VGTI and a PhD in economics and management from Carnegie Mellon University, USA. Sir has served in IAS for 27 years. 27 years is not a small thing. And whenever I speak to sir is telling only one thing, यार तुम ऐसे वैसे मत बात करो, कुछ तो material दो, material अच्छा दो. मतलब sir is always hunger for whatever the research is there. Sir is telling कि तुम यार ये सब बाकी सारे बातें मत करो, तुम बातें बहुत ज्यादा कर दो, काम करो. तो when I talk to sir, always I will tell you sir, I was always in a pressure कि सर के पास से क्या कुपिया आएगी या क्या बाउंसर आएगा, वो पता नहीं रहता है. Sir was in Maharashtra as BST chairman also, and everybody, I think yesterday only Sanjay Nirmal was there. He was to join today. So I don't know whether he's there or not, but he was praising very much.
He's very much there. He's very much there.
Sanjay Nirmal also want to speak, but first let sir speak, and then I will tell Sanjay Nirmal whatever he wants to. He told me he wants to speak for half a minute. Sir has bought finance from USA and Japan and Canada. So I know, sir, I know very little about you, sir. So, and people, everybody, entire August House is waiting to hear from you. I know this is a little not that interesting subject. ये बोलता है ना कि मूवी में मसाला नहीं है, because green building अभी तक कोरोना की वजह से थोड़ा बहुत लोगों को लग रहा है कि बाबा green building is need of the hour. Over to you, sir.
Rajanji, thank you very much. I think you have put me at the end, whereas I should have been at the beginning. I heard most of the panel members to be much more knowledgeable than me in this field. I think Kishore Bhattija is there, then Ravi is there, who have been known for so many years. I think, and I still see Ravi being as young as you are, which I think is a thing of pride and happiness for me. And so I think we cherish those moments. We work together in the IT sector in Maharashtra, and I think several other initiatives which we could launch in Maharashtra during those years. I think I don't agree with Rajan when he says there is no masala. I think it's a question of life and death. It's such an important issue that you can't ignore it. And it actually provided me a lot of information, and I think a lot of things we learned about green building, and I also got to get rid of a lot of misinformation. I think it was very interesting to know that Gurmeet ji provided information that it's only 1 or 2% costlier compared to your non-green building. And then, so I think this initiative cuts across all sectors. Not only there is interest from developers, even the consumers and the users, they also want green building rating and their buildings to be rated green, so that, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Very well, sir.
Yeah. So that they enjoy, like fruits of cleaner environment and sustainable environment. So I think those things are very important, and you know much more about all these efforts and the developers. I have noted certain points, and even our Honorable Prime Minister on the occasion of World Environment Day he also stays on building climate resilient urban infrastructure. And I think cities, both residential and commercial, they play a very important role in building resilient infrastructure, resilient sector, resilient buildings in the country. And I think first of all, what we need to do is that we need to have a massive campaign to inform people.
Yes.
That green building is not costly affair. And it's not only that Ravi Raheja or Rajiv Talwarji is implementing green building and getting their LEED platinum, or for them the default mode is green building. I think for Rajan Bandelkar and Naredco and other organizations, can we go to this default mode of green build? I think that's a challenge. And I would think we keep on rating buildings. I think you should rate the developer, whether he is green or not. Can we say, okay, this developer is rated green platinum, green whatever, silver or bronze, whatever. So I think that concept of rating his bouquet of offerings, wherein he says how much green he is. I think that is the initiative which Rajan has to start. And one question came to my mind, that what fraction of, one is that old building, yes, there are issues, retrofitting and all that. But what about the new buildings? What fraction of new buildings are green buildings? Maybe some maximum by your members, but what about others who are doing it, but they are not your members? So I think what we can do to measure the extent of greenness in our new building activity. And I think Rajan knows I keep on asking all these things, and I think we need to, in Naredco, we need to spend some money in creating a research team which answer this question with passion, and with the information which is unassailable. Because they can't say, okay, I will look for 10 buildings and find out. No, we have to have a data, and there is data gathering takes a lot of efforts. It's not easy, but it provides fruits which are very important and which provide a lot of information and provide us the way forward. So I think what we need to do is, I think this activity of what fraction of new buildings are green, not only by Naredco members, but across the country. I think that will help us, our cities, in going green, and to what extent they need to do the work. So I think one was campaign. I just digress, but this campaign issue, I think we need to have action plan for this campaign. And it's not that one time you are meeting, I don't know, what is the day you meet every year on green building, Rajan?
September.
Do you meet once in a year or what?
No, many times.
Sir, to be very honest, sir, this time, this is the first initiative, because I knew when I spoke to you, I knew how passionate you are there, and Gurmeet Singh and V. Suresh both told me, and I will tell you one thing, sir, just to answer your advertisement campaign. Sir, Naredco has already signed an MOU with IGBC, and we are here to take everything forward. And the way you told, your idea of rating developer is an excellent, sir. We will tell IGBC, rather than rate the building, but at the same time rate the developer also.
It just came to my mind. I was thinking about it, and So I think the point is, I think
we'll take it, sir. We'll take it, sir.
Yeah, when you take your governing council meeting, which might happen every 3 months or 6 months, I think there should be this agenda of what is happening on green building initiative. And if you want, don't worry, I have a lot of things, so I can build you agenda for this, so you can review it. There can be a research team which does actual good work, cutting across developers and all that, so we know what is to be done. I think this information campaign is also needs to be taken to small towns and medium-sized towns, because what is happening, the activities are also happening there, and the citizens are also equally affected there. It's not that water problem is there, sewage treatment problem is there in Mumbai or big cities, it's also there in small cities. I would say the extent of facilities are much less in smaller cities compared to bigger cities. So I think this message also, this campaign of cost and its use also needs to be taken to a smaller and medium mid-sized
Tier 2 citizens.
Yeah. I think then there was this issue of certified professionals, which I think, just a minute. Hello. May I be meeting? This issue of certified professionals. So I think when some activity is going on in a building, I don't know what percent of professionals are certified green. I think that also we can measure, what extent the greenness has spread into our workforce. And do they feel sensitive about it when they construct? Is your civil engineer or project manager sensitive to the needs of green building? Does he understand what it means to be green building? Is what efforts he is taking, or only is waiting for that certification to be displayed and all that? So I think what we need to do is that certified professional, which are not only doing plumbing and other works, but also at a different tier. So I think that is very important. I like this idea that your green building provides makes possible to have temperature which is 3 to 4 degrees less than the ambient temperature. And when I was in Mumbai, I never used air conditioning. So I think if that is possible in Delhi, I will be very, very happy. So I think, it's we should be also resilient. We don't have to depend on AC all the time. So I think, so that is very interesting. And this lot of initiatives of education, campaign, upskilling of professionals. I think some CSR funds can also be used for that purpose, which can provide lot of information and lot of benefit to even small towns and mid-sized towns. We talked about like the mass transit. Yes, we agree. Today in the morning only we were talking about the bus-based public transport and how public transport in when it is done at large scale can benefit, reduce the carbon footprint and benefit citizens in faster, better and cleaner movement. So I think I appreciate that role. And so in terms of the laws, regulations, and I think the support framework, there is no dearth of those issues. We already have model bylaws drafted in 2016. We have National Building Code, we have Energy Conservation Building Code of 2017, and we have Eco Niwas Samhita 2018. Bureau of Energy Efficiency keeps on rating the building, both commercial. They also make a lot of efforts. So I think in terms of support regulations, laws, regulation, rules, I think there is no issue as I see it even today. The issue might be adoption by the cities. And I think that also, if we can work on them, it will be very interesting to see which cities have adopted this green bylaws and all that. And what are their constraints? Why they are adopting green bylaws and constraints? I think very good suggestion was made that those mission cities and from which are funded from Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, can we see if they can launch sustained movement towards green building initiative? And I think we might have to work a little bit to understand how we dovetail this into their programs. But I'm very keen on doing this, in the sense like the ministry would be very keen to combine this initiative with their already existing framework. And there are a large number of programs in which smart cities are there. We fund them. There are Amrut cities, and there are other initiatives. So I think if we can combine green building, but I think we'll have to do some work in terms of doing exactly what we need to do exactly to make it happen. So I think so there is a lot to be done, and what we need to do is that it has to be sustained, like over a period of time, and see how the country is moving in residential and building sector on this on this path of green building. And Naredco, if they can support us with their research inputs, I think we can further refine whatever initiatives we need to take, whatever changes we need to make into our framework, either laws, regulations, building code, or the mandates. I think I appreciated, appreciated very much when Ravi Raheja said, yes, why it should be optional? It should be like mandatory. Time has come where this kind of thinking has also to get should get deep roots into our whole thinking ecosystem, wherein climate change and resilient urban infrastructure is a priority. So I think there is a lot we can do together, and we are always there to learn and support whatever is required, and to also exchange into a discussion, participate into dialogue, take interest in whatever activities you think which will deepen our understanding, and tell us, like, if you do 5 things, then this rate of acceleration can go from say X% to 3X
Okay.
or 4X.
Yes,
I
sir.
think if we can do that, I'm ready to meet again after whatever time Rajan decides. He might think that I am telling it too soon, so I don't want to tell time. But this is what we should do. Like, this is my X. Can I go 3X? Can I go 5X? And then what are the impacts and all that? I think I will note this point of X and 3X before I conclude. So at least I think that's what for next 10 years or 15 years we should plan, and get people to participate into this movement. I think this should be a movement across small cities, big cities, metros, and all that. So whenever I meet, suppose, any architect, I think this issue of architect training was mentioned. I think that's also very important. Whenever we meet them, we ask them casually what's happening. They should be bubbling with energy of how green building initiative is vital to their survival and the survival of this their cities and their new initiatives. So I think that's how, if you can create an ecosystem wherein everybody participates, becomes a movement, I think we would have done a great thing for our future generation and even the present ones. Because every year we see a lot of things happening which are totally unpredictable. So I think that's what I would like to say. And I would once again say that let it not be a yearly initiative, but let it be a sustained initiative in the activities of Naredco, and let it be an agenda item in each of the governing council when the issues come. And I think that will really benefit. I really benefited a lot by listening to all others. It's Rajan who put me in the end, even though I did not know much, but and I think it certainly also inspired me to look for new initiatives wherein we can strengthen this movement all together. So I am really thankful to you, all participants who shared their thoughts and took time out to be present. And I'm always there whenever you want.
Good, sir.
And thank you once again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, can we, before we close, sir, can we take a half a minute, sir? Can we suggest that based on the 8 points that you brought out over there, which are noted, we'll give a nice documentation to you on each one, what has been done, what can be done. And we make it available to you in the next about a weeks to 10 days time period, the document. And possibly we can have a meeting once in every 3 months, sir, to review, as you said, the type of action and whatever multiplier we can have instead of as a regular between the IGBC Naredco team can meet. You could give some time, we can fix it, prefix it. And if you can do that, that'll be a real, then, and by the time is the annual Green Building Congress coming in November, sir, if we have 2 or 3 rounds of meeting now between now in June to that, we'll have something positive to also answer. That's an area where over 4,000 people participate in a year. As he said, this is an area where the Honorable Vice President inaugurated last time, and the Honorable Prime Minister of India gave the powerful message over the IGBC's activities. I just thought both Vice President of India and Prime Minister of India has given for IGBC that message, sir. So my suggestion to you, sir, if you can agree on this particular thing of a quarterly meeting between us and you, sir, with your team members as well, it'll be good. Who, as you said, not only the housing component one, PMAY, smart cities, Amrit cities, all those areas, we'll be happy to give the document on all the 8 points that you brought out, sir.
Right. And Rajanji, before you invite Sanjay Nirmal, what the Additional Secretary said about the default mode of green buildings, you have to drive it. I know you are capable of driving it. You have to see how you can do that. Over to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
I
you.
think I will just say one thing and then we can conclude. I will stop. We can meet periodically. There is no point, but the point is it has to make sense.
Absolutely.
So I need first the information, proper research document done, which will meet our standards in terms of data availability and all that, and then we can spend time. Otherwise, once in a year is also okay. It's
Very well said.
Yes.
Sir, we will certainly provide you everything, and we will trouble you every quarter, sir. Because we can't wait up to a year. Year is a too long period.
Yeah, once in 3 months we should do this.
He provided you.
Yes, sir.
Sure,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
do that.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, Sanjay Nirmal wanted to speak. So over to you, Sanjay Nirmal, for half a minute.
Sir, congratulations for holding this post. I'm very happy, sir, since this post have direct channel from local authority to ministry, sir.
Hare, how are you?
Earlier, DS Mishra sir was there, where we directly have direct interaction, sir. Thereafter, Shivdas Meena sir was holding that post, sir. And now since you are there, so it is a pleasure for us, sir. And as
I'm
regards
also happy.
the-
You have been doing great work, and we'll see the great work being done again. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, now I would request Ashok Munani to give vote of thanks. Only a minute, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Dr. Sundar Bagre, sir. I mean, we assure you on behalf of Naredco that we are firm believers of sustainable development, and we will support you, sir, support the ministry for the research that you were talking about. And, we will have regular exercises. I'm sure that, all the speakers have spoken so thoroughly, even though the green buildings may marginally cost a bit higher, but however, the benefits are enormous, sir. We all know that, and therefore every developer in Naredco, I'm sure will wow henceforth that he will be only green. I'm really grateful to you, sir. I'm grateful to Rajiv Talwarji, Ravi sir, Sanjay, Mr. V. Suresh, Gurmeet Singh ji, Dr. Chandrasekhar Hariharan, Kishore ji, of course, Sanjay Nirmal ji, and our leader, Rajan Bandhelkar, the entire team of Naredco for putting up this lovely event. Thank you for all the 220 plus participants who are involved so deeply today. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely day. Stay safe. Thank you.
So I would just like to add one thing, that we are now on the ESG index, which is in New York, which is Environment, Safety and Governance. We are also on the British Safety Council, the highest number of buildings across any builder in the world. And whether it's a LEED Platinum rating, all our buildings are LEED Platinum rated. And therefore, I think we can make it a movement that whether small towns, or as the additional secretary Saab said, that yes, whether small towns or big super metros, we need to get this culture and statistics before the next meeting of the IGBC, so that we come out with meaningful figures and facts about how well India's progressed and how well we need to now emulate in every geography of India. It's possible. I think we do have examples over there. I'm sure whether it's Tatas, whether it's Rajas, whether it's DLF, and many other builders will love to adopt these measures all over the country, from the smallest of the towns to the biggest of the centers.
That's very nice. Thank you.
I just want to add, Rajan, with your permission. LEED is USGBC. We are IGBC Platinum, IGBC Gold, and IGBC Silver.
Platinum.
We had got,
we are 93%.
we got USGBC to India earlier, but then we said we want to make an Indian standard and everything should be made in India, and therefore it's IGBC.
And Dr. Bagdale, may I add that 94% of buildings that are certified in India are from IGBC.
Yes.
Balance 6%, which is others.
Yeah. So the impact is very large. And I will also, on behalf of Mr. Suresh and our Gurmeet, assure you that within the quarter, you will have a stack of data which is very clear and meets that exacting demand that you are talking about.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I got to leave now. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rajanji, over to you.
No, sir, it's over.
It's over.
Over.
All right. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rajan.
Thank you.
Mr. Talwar.
It's in
Let's
other
build on it.
terms. In
Mr.
other
Tal-
terms, it's a beginning now.
Yes.
Sir has put us on a path.
It is
And
not
you-
over, it is the beginning, Mr.
It's
Rajan.
just the beginning.
I think we set the ball rolling. We'll be doing it.
Yeah.
It is also agreed, provided we are ready with our documentation. We'll do that. We'll make it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajanji.
Yes, yes.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Rajiv,
Well done, everybody.
Thank you.
Mr. Rajiv
Thank you,
Talwar.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh Goyal, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank
Nice
you,
to
sir.
meet you.
Thank you very much to everyone in IGBC, Naredco, and everyone, sir. Thank you very much.
I must tell all of you, Rajiv Talwarji and everybody,
Yes.
Rajan Bandalkar, he does not have timing. 9 o'clock in the night, 8 o'clock in the night, 9
Good.
o'clock in the morning.
Good.
My God, he's really worked hard for this webinar.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Congratulations to him and his team at Naredco.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, very well done.
Thank you.
It's a great start. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we forgot
Good
to
day,
thank
everybody. Thank
Chandra
you.
Hariharan for
Yes.
so ably moderating the session with such right to all the captains of the industry. He brought the right
Absolutely.
level of views from everybody. Thank you, Chandra.
Sir was apt and in time. He has controlled so well. That was very, very important.
Yeah,
Well,
very
you all set the tone, and with such leaders, it's so easy to, conduct any session, I suppose.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Talwar.
Good sir,
thanks to you
Chandrasekhar and Suresh sir. Now it is on your shoulder to prepare a note and entire.
We will.
Absolutely. We will.
Done, boss, done.
You tell us whatever you require from us. We will do it.
We will do it
So
together.
jointly. Yes, sir.
We will do it
Yes,
together. Okay.
Right.
Yes,
We
sir.
will.
Yes,
We
sir.
will.
In the
Thank
framework of
you.
the MOU we have.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ranji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.